Shortly after I joined FESPA as Technical Support Manager, I volunteered to take on the project of improving the atrium in the building. The atrium was, it's a lovely building, it's got great architectural features, but it lacked the kind of essential character and personality of our industry, our membership. For me, the thing that was a real priority was to ensure that we had inspiration for our team here, and that when visitors were coming to see us, that they would walk into a space that would be very welcoming, interesting and engaging. FESPA's community includes textile printers, garment decorators, graphic point-of-sale display printers, signage companies, industrial printers, so a very broad community. Within that, we had to choose some kind of key examples of work that would really be exciting to people that arrived here. The next area was looking at how to bring life to the space through signage, through three-dimensional applications, through the use of fabric. So that led me to begin a conversation with a previous FESPA two-time gold winner, H&S Signs up in Birmingham, and the conversation began with Michelle Henry. She had really good, strong sense of creativity and also techniques and application.
FESPA have asked us to work with them to inject some personality and some colour into their sort of main atrium as you come into their offices. It needs to reflect all the different types of print and signage techniques so that it's truly representing the industry. They've also asked if we can incorporate all the different member associations.
I'm wondering if we make the most of being a global business, so using all the countries rather than the actual logos, because I think it's a little bit safer to use the countries as well in case there's businesses change.
What about printing onto wallpaper and then having the wallpaper in the background behind the FESPA logo?
Yeah, we could use that, couldn't we, instead?
You've also got these pillars, one large one quite small.
Yeah.
At the moment they're really sort of in your face. I thought perhaps we could do something with them.
Yeah, I think as well what would be quite nice is to utilise the artwork we're not using. So with the contrasting ones going around the stairs, when you walk through the front door, the two pillars you kind of see as you come in, but they're behind the glass. If we use something quite simple on them and make those highlight, I think that could look quite effective. The only thing we have to be careful of is the join with the acrylic.
Personally, I think matt's going to work better in there because of how many windows. We want it to sort of be an anti-glare thing.
I think so, and I think sometimes it can look a little bit more expensive if it's a matte colour, especially with the frames and the plaques that we're going to be using.
And then we started looking at the fabric component, and either side of the atrium we had two columns 7 metres high that would allow us to express photographically something more of FESPA and FESPA's culture. So we kind of tried to pick, I think there were 10 images in total that would provide a snapshot of FESPA's daily business and its profit for purpose. Paul Noble from Bannerbox I'd known from my time on the board of FESPA UK Association. I knew that Paul was very passionate about digital printing, fabric and fabrication, and with all their experience of banners, flags and display graphics in fabric, I knew that they would be the people to work with. So they came down and saw us, and we looked at the space that we had to work with, and I expressed my concerns about fabric curling, about it not tensioning really well, and I kind of expressed my worries about that, and they did a great job in providing a solution that's worked really, really well. The lovely thing is the rigging 7 metres high. You don't want to be putting towers up every 6 months to change the graphics. So we've got a pulley rigging system up there that allows us to chop and change as we please, which is perfect.
Across the front windows, they're not allowed to have anything on these windows themselves. Although they own the building, the actual landlord for the site won't allow vinyls on it. If you can come up with something else.
Yeah, to use the different opacities of the...
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe a mobile.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Especially with the height as well, because we could probably get away with quite a deep one, but still not affect kind of people walking around all the stairways and stuff, wouldn't it? If we use the colours as well, because they've got quite good colours, that might be quite nice to bounce the light around and kind of reflect different patterns as well.
That in itself was quite a challenge, because we have irregular shapes that are they're not symmetrical, and they're having to rotate and spin, and just working with Michelle and Katie's passion in making sure that everything hung as we expected, looked balanced in the volume of the space that the mobile was being installed in, became kind of critical elements for me, and I have to say they just nailed it. Did a perfect job of meeting all those constraints. We started looking at built-up letters. Rather than having flat letters on the wall, we'd bring built-up letters, and we'd digitally print the returns on the sides of them, so that we could have what essentially from the surface looked just like a white letter, but you look at it obliquely and there was a complex pattern clearly only achievable by digital printing.
But you can also see now they've got the stairs, and they've all got just huge glass panelling the whole way round. I thought it might be quite nice whether we just put like a pinstripe or something across it, whether it be in frosted or a translucent vinyl, just to put some subtle detail there without going too over the top.
So I think when I first started looking at this, I was thinking we needed to make art quite a central component of this, and fortunately through the FESPA Awards and the archives that we had, we knew that there was some amazing quality work, screen prints and some digital prints that would be suitable to indicate the skill levels of members of our associations. So I started looking through the list of award winners, and I found people like Galerie Domberger in Germany, MIDI Print in Russia, Lawrence Bogley in Switzerland, Christian M. Walter in Spain, and Harwood King in the UK, and they clearly had produced work of incredible quality that would both be kind of aesthetically pleasing and representative of a broad swathe of technical capability. So then I went about the process of speaking to them and asking them if they would be willing to contribute, and I'm very pleased to say that in all cases we had a really positive uptake, and they kind of got what we were trying to achieve and were very happy to participate. So that was kind of one area. The final thing was, we have all this art, we have these lovely banners that show something of our culture, we have the lettering that reinforces the messages of the solidity and the sense of passion and conviction that exists within FESPA's team and community. But then really we needed to look at the artworks on the wall and find a way of expressing technical information about them, so that our people that visit us, people that see this short film will see that there are explanations. This is beyond an importance of aesthetics. This is about how things are done, because that's what our members are doing. So again, working with H&S, we've taken laser cutting of very small lettering and laser engraving of triple laminate product. So we've then bonded raised letters onto depth engraved materials, and that's given us a really nice way of expressing the title of the work for the piece of art. The producer, most importantly, the printer who gave us their time and their product, and then a brief explanation as to how it was printed, whether it was printed, 10 colour digital in some cases with very wide gamut, or whether it was printed by screen print. In the case of the Domberger piece, D-Train particularly, 212 screen prints with hand-cut ruby film positives, just an incredible tribute to craft and skill. And I think that's reflected across the collection. What we have achieved is we've achieved a great cross-section of creative output that I think reflects the community that FESPA supports. And I think that when my colleagues come into work in the morning, and indeed when I come into work in the morning, we will just have these visual cues around us reminding us of what an inspiring and interesting business we're all involved with. And I think that when our visitors come from, whether they be our board members, whether they be our exhibitor partners, or other printers from within the community, they'll see points of reference that will resonate for them, or that's the aim.